true ആണെങ്കിൽ it will be given exactly an exact meaning will be mentioned in the passage. Something
Okay.
which means exactly whatever is given here, the statement. If it is
Hmm.
false, a very contradicting or opposite statement will be given somewhere in the passage.
Okay.
And if it is not given, that particular information is not at all given anywhere in the passage. So usually
Okay. Hmm.
it is the first question, the answer for the first question you can find in the beginning of the passage,
Okay.
in the first
Hmm.
paragraphs. Yeah.
Yes.
And as the number of questions goes by, likewise,
Hmm.
the answer to the second question will be available somewhere below the first paragraph.
Yeah, the
So
first. Okay.
likewise, yeah.
Hmm.
So go ahead and answer the first four questions
Okay.
and let me know.
Okay.
So നമുക്ക് discuss ചെയ്താലോ?
Okay. Sure.
So since this is your beginning, since this is the first time you're doing IELTS reading, you can take your time, but as we go further, you will be getting only 1 hour to complete all 40 questions in the 3 passages. For the time being, just for practice, let's discuss the true false not given. Okay,
Okay.
the first question. Yeah, there may be genetic causes for the differences in how young the skin of identical twins look.
Look.
There may be genetic causes for the
Process.
differences in how young the skin of identical twins look. Okay,
Yes. I
so what
think
do you
that's
think?
false.
Yeah, that is false. Why? Because
Uh,
exactly here it is given any differences between them,
okay.
which is identical twins. That's what they are referring to. One twin having younger looking skin, for example, must be due to environmental factors. Yeah.
Environmental factors.
So
Yes.
that's the key word. That's the keywords, such
Environment.
as less time spent in
Yes.
the sun.
Yes.
So in identical twins, whatever differences uh, that according to the question, there may be genetic causes. No, so there are no genetic causes at all. It is actually environmental
Environmental
factors. Okay,
factors.
so that is obviously it is false. Okay,
False.
moving on to the second question.
Twins are at greater risk of developing certain illnesses than non-twins.
Okay,
Uh, I don't see any information in the passage, so I think
yeah.
it's not given.
Okay, you think that is not given? Okay, fine, that is not given, but you will have to quickly uh, skim through and scan the entire passage to actually come to that particular conclusion.
Okay.
Usually, the questions are in order of the paragraph. So, for example, the first question answer you will find in the beginning of the passage. Second question will be you will find the answer further down from the first passage, and accordingly. Yeah, but
Okay.
still, you will have to underline. So, let's just underline the keywords. Twins are at greater risk of developing certain illnesses than non-twins.
Twins.
Greater risk, illnesses. These are the keywords.
Hmm.
Yeah, non-twins. But in the entire passage, if you look, none of that is mentioned. Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah.
but just skim through it. But usually, the answer to the second question should be there in the second or third paragraphs.
Okay.
So here or here, usually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is
Yes.
not given. Okay, that's pretty obvious. What about the third question?
Burchard advertised in
Burchard
newspapers.
advertised in newspapers for twins who
Twins
had
had
been
been
separated
separated
at
from
birth.
birth.
So obviously keywords are Burchard, advertised, newspapers, and so this is a person. This is the surname of a researcher. Yeah. So we
Yes.
need to immediately search for this particular person within the passage.
Okay. Yes.
So where is he mentioned?
It's on the right hand side,
Yeah,
the first paragraph.
first
So
paragraph. Okay.
uh,
Yeah,
over.
Thomas
Yeah.
Burchard. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is where he comes in for the very first time in the passage. So Thomas
Thomas.
Burchard's lab is what it became known as the Minnesota study of twins reared apart. Numerous tests were carried out. Okay, again, they are mentioning further down. Burchard
Yeah.
and his colleagues used this mountain of data to identify how far. Okay, and then where else is Burchard mentioned? Here again, Burchard is mentioned here.
Yes.
So we need to look in these particular places if that particular information regarding newspapers. Yeah, that's the question, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the question is advertised. This particular advertisement or advertised newspapers
Newspapers.
separated at birth. These things anywhere if it is mentioned. Again, look to the on the next page. I
Yes.
don't think it is mentioned. I don't know. Not sure. I don't see Bouchard mentioned anywhere else because here it's Daniel Reed comes in. Another researcher
Then,
comes in.
yes.
So
There is
it's
Bouchard in the next paragraph below. Read credits Thomas Bouchard's work for today's search. In the
in
second
which page
page,
is it? Second
in the
page, huh?
second page, yes. Right below the Daniel Reed paragraph, read
Yes,
credits Thomas.
exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Thomas Bouchard's work for today's surge in twin studies. He was a trailblazer. Okay, so once we find all these places where Thomas Bouchard is mentioned, but that particular information regarding
Yes.
newspapers or
Newspapers.
advertisement is nowhere mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can be pretty obvious that it is what
Not given.
not given. Yeah, so that particular the answer to that question is not given. Okay, that is question number 3.
Yeah.
What about question number 4?
Epigenetic processes are different
Epigenetic
from both
process.
genetic
Yeah,
and
different from both
environmental
genetic and environmental
processes.
process. Yes.
So that's on the second page. It mentions, according to a recent field called epigenetics, there's a third factor also in play,
Yes.
one that serves as a bridge between environment and genes.
Yes.
And also, the following epigenetic processes are chemical reactions tied to neither nature nor nurture,
Okay.
but representing what researchers have called third component.
Okay.
So that should be true. It's
Yes. So it is pretty obvious that epigenetic processes are different from both genetic and environmental processes. Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's clearly mentioned in that particular passage that they have identified an uh, entirely different process or entirely different factor which is different from genetic and also environment. So environmental factors are divided into two:
Yes,
nature and nurture.
yes,
So again, they found a epigenetic process or a factor called epigenetic, which is distinct and very different from the ones that were already discovered. അല്ലേ?
yes,
അപ്പോൾ ഇത് entirely different ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു factor ആണ്. So that makes sense that it is, according to the question, epigenetic process are different. This is the
and
keyword. Different from both genetic and environmental processes.
environmental
So
process.
clearly it is true.
It's true.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
So those are correct. Let's answer questions 5 to 9.
Okay.
For more questions, look at the following statements. Question 5 to 9, the list of researchers below. Match each statement with the correct researcher A, B, or C. Write the correct letter A, B, or C in boxes 5 to 9 on your answer sheet.
Okay.
Nota bota, you may use any letter more than once. So
Okay.
obviously in this particular passage we uh, came to know about or we read about these three particular researchers: Francis Galton, Thomas Burchard, and Daniel Reed.
Yes.
Yeah, all these three researchers we got to know, we read about their work. So you need to match these statements 5 to 9 with the right researcher.
Okay.
Okay, so just give it a try and let me
Okay.
know.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Let's discuss the fifth question.
Mm.
Okay. Invented a term used to distinguish two factors affecting human characteristics. Invented a term used to distinguish two factors affecting human characteristics. Yes.
Uh, I think it is A. Francis
Yes.
Galton.
Francis Galton, because obviously he is the one who started it all.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because clearly he is the one who actually uh, talked about nature and nurture.
I'm not sure.
So these are the one that will, these are the characteristics or these are the factors that will affect uh, the differences.
Yes.
So obviously that is correct. Invented a term used to distinguish two factors. So two factors, nature and nurture, affecting human characteristics. Okay, that is A. What
Yeah.
about question number six? Express the view that the study of epigenetics will increase our knowledge.
So that will be C. Daniel Reed.
Yes, because it's already mentioned uh, in the second page of the
Yeah.
passage. It's clearly mentioned that obviously, but it's also clear when you get to know them that other things about them are different. Epigenetics is the origin of a lot of those differences, in my view. Uh, and when you look at this, many things about them absolutely the same.
It's also
So,
is in the last paragraph. Having said that, Reed adds the latest work in epigenetics promise to take
promises to take our understanding even further. Yes, this particular part, understanding even further.
yes.
So obviously, it will increase our knowledge. So don't expect the same phrases or same expression or vocabulary, but obviously it would mean the same. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. What
Yeah.
about the next one?
Developed a mathematical.
Mathematical method of measuring genetic influences.
I think that's both uh, A and B.
A and B. How do you come? Because you can only write one particular answer. How did Galton develop any kind of mathematical method?
Well,
Obviously, as you can see, Thomas Bouchard had obviously answered a set of 50, I mean, asked a set of 15,000 questions to
yes.
twins. So this is a kind of a mathematical system and which was developed by Mr. Thomas Bouchard. And obviously, it can be attributed to Thomas Bouchard quite obviously because if you are
Bullshit.
looking at
Okay.
yeah the entire passage, the kind of calculation and the kind of a mathematically calculated concept to differentiate between the twins was only developed by Thomas Bouchard.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I misunderstood uh, the question. I mean, it
Okay.
says you may use any letter more than once, but it's not two answers for one question. It's one answer per question. Okay.
Ah, yeah, exactly. Don't get confused because it's not, or you should only write one answer for each question.
Okay. Okay.
Unless
Understood.
it is specifically mentioned that you may write up to two answers for each question.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, fine.
Mm.
So always
Okay.
read the question very carefully. What about the next one? Question
Pioneer.
number eight,
Yes.
pioneered research into genetics using twins.
That would be B. Bouchard.
B, yes, I mean, B is something which can be confusing, but actually it is A
Yeah.
because pioneered using something using twins is got to do with the beginning. So the first person to actually
The idea of using twins. Okay.
yes, the idea of using twins to measure the influence of heredity dates back to 1875 when the English scientist Francis Galton
Yes,
first
that is
suggested the
okay.
approach and coined the
Okay.
phrase nature and nurture. So
Okay.
using twins, and that idea was actually suggested, that particular approach was suggested by
Francis.
Francis Galton, and he is the one who pioneered research into genetics using twins.
Okay.
After that came other researchers like Thomas Bouchard, but pioneered this particular term is usually associated with the one who contributed or started it all.
Okay.
So obviously, it is the first person who lived and done research. The earliest is
Okay.
Francis Galton. Okay.
Okay.
Next one, carried out research into twins who had lived apart. Quite easy, that is.
That's B. Thomas Boucher.
Yes, yes, Thomas Porter. So it's very obviously, very clearly mentioned that carried out research using twins. Here, it is clearly mentioned in the first page. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's the one who carried out the research into twins who had lived apart. So lived apart is very important. So reared apart. See,
Read about.
reared apart.
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay. Okay.
fine. So obviously, uh, for for the actual IELTS test, you won't get any. You won't get the provision to use computer or check the meanings or none of that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
For the actual IELTS test, you'll be given the reading test. You'll be given 1 hour, and you'll be given the answer sheet as well. So we'll be discussing all that in the next class. So you'll be given the answer sheet, and the entire 40 answers should be transferred to the answer sheet by the end of 1 hour.
Okay.
Okay, so that's how it works. So you will not be able to ask anybody what is the meaning of this particular term. You will not be able to, regarding the subject, regarding the test, there is no checking with anybody else. You can't ask the meaning or what they meant by this or what is the meaning of this particular word. None of that. You have to,
Okay.
even if, I mean, there are so many terms that we don't know. Yeah, we will
Yeah.
come across terms that which is pretty new to us, and but we must be able to understand the meaning of that particular term from the context.
Okay.
So if you are reading something and you encounter a particular word which you haven't heard before or you rarely hear or read about, then obviously make out the meaning of that particular word within the context, according to the context. So that's how
Okay.
you understand meanings. You can't keep referring dictionaries every time. I'm not talking about tests, just, I mean, generally, that's how we understand the meanings of words. We can't every time check the dictionary or the
Mm.
thesaurus or Google every meaning. When reading a newspaper or reading an article, obviously you
Mm.
have to make out the meaning of the term based on that particular context of whatever we are reading. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how we do in IELTS test as well. Okay. So
Okay.
we will continue to discuss the rest of the questions later. Okay.
Okay.
അപ്പോൾ ഇന്ന് നമുക്ക് അടുത്ത ദിവസം ചെയ്യാം, ബാക്കി ചെയ്യാം. Okay.
ശരി. ശരി.
And
Okay.
then for the mock test, you can do the entire thing. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Fine.
ശരി.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.